Alright, guys, we should be Alright, guys, welcome to this live stream. This is my first new segment I've ever done on my YouTube channel ever. I figured to give this a try, see how it goes for about a month or two, just to see how well these push. Hello, Trusk. Hello, Mr. Lion and Sonnet. Welcome to the stream. Hello to the Fox and Pearl. Welcome to the stream. WCat, hello, and whoever joins in the future of these lives, welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's get right into the intro and discuss the topics I'll be talking about today.
I have my head on. Bark. Who's a good dog? Who's a good dog? I'm a good dog. My fans are good dogs. Bark. Alright, everyone, welcome to this episode of Reddit. Did you love my intro? You better love my intro. You better love it. I swear, if you don't love it, I'm gonna bark at you. I'm gonna give you the bites. I'm gonna give you the sad face. Every single depressed part of my soul will go out my heart, and I'll burn up in a ball of fire. Is that too much? Was it too much? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Hi. Trust says hello, and he's gonna be turning 18 in a couple weeks. Oh no, yeah. Happy early birthday, Trusk. Happy early birthday. And WCat says it's 124. I actually want to focus on this news topic because I want to upload the video after, so it's condensed and in a better format for you guys to read and go through it faster. So let's get right into the after discussions of the two videos I'll be talking about. The first one being that they're trying to shut down 4chan, which, if you guys don't know what 4chan is, I've never heard of this until like yesterday. I watched a quick video about this. But 4chan does not go by the rules of what the current rules are for internet, which is good. I think that we need to have internet companies and websites fighting back. But the big issue with 4chan right now is that and 4chan is, I think it's applied for US based websites for now, and Europe is trying to demand that they do a whole ID thing and update the websites and like regarding the whole Safety Act, and yeah. Um, you can watch the recording afterwards, Ashley Wildcats. So I'll be working on that tonight and uploading that tomorrow morning. So it'll be more condensed. Live streams are for me interacting with you guys, and recordings are for me getting to the point of what I want to do with my content. So you guys, have a better, different viewership experience on both sides. Hi, Sonnet. The rule of thumb is if you mess with 4chan, you essentially dig your own grave. Yeah, in a nutshell. Um, but let's watch some ordinary gamer give their presentation on this because I haven't fully dived into this, so I'm new at this. Like I've only done, looked at this content once, and so yeah.
They're going after good old 4chan, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. I want to just kind of keep up the pressure when I talk about the world of internet censorship. Now, I talked about this stuff like probably years ago, and the funniest thing about this too is like, it really felt like me and maybe like a few people were kind of screaming into the void. And now, that those laws that I talked about a year ago, now that it's time for those laws to pass and be enacted, suddenly everyone's starting to poop themselves a little bit because the internet's changed so dramatically fast over such a short amount of time. So to give you an idea, ladies and gentlemen, I talked about things like that Epstein list, and it's crazy to think that, people who want this stuff released, all of a sudden, right.
Oh, congratulations to Sonic Channel. Congratulations, by the way. Yeah, I actually like this YouTuber. I'm my old account. I was subscribed to him, and then I need to resubscribe to him on my other this account. So I have to rebuild all my subscribers.
right after all of this, there's other aspects that come into play. I'm not saying that these conspiracies are related, but the censorship wave has happened so fast. We looked at things like Collective Shout not too long ago. We looked at companies like Visa and MasterCard basically deciding what you and I get to buy on the internet. And then all of a sudden, every single one of these laws, not just from the UK, but the United States, Canada, the EU, every single organization comes in. A week ago, we looked at chat control in the EU. They want to try and diminish the security of your messaging. Your messaging, not the politicians, not the people at the top. So all of a sudden, you have to deal with inferior technology, insecure technology, all because these people want you to think of the children and all that other stupid shit. I don't think anybody at the top cares about the children, okay? I mean, I think we all do. We just also don't want our privacy completely thrown out.
And I've mentioned this before, and so have other content creators. This is not about the children. This is about the companies taking your data and using it for whatever purposes they want, and basically using you. I'm sure there are ways to protect the children, but I also want to point this out to you guys that this is the parent's job, not the internet company's job, not the government's job, not anyone else's job, not my job. It is the individual parent's job to protect your children. And if the parents fail at that, or the parents could give a rat's ass, that is on them. I could care less. I am not a parent, nor do I have children.
So to give you an idea, 4chan was targeted, and even the guys over at 4chan responded. So the 4chaners went and said, okay, through their legal organization, Byron and Storm PC, they said that according to press reports, the Ofcom has issued a provisional notice under that OSA, alleging a contravention by 4chan and indicating an intention to impose a penalty of £20,000 sterling, plus daily penalties thereafter. So they pretty much say, listen, we're a U.S. company. We're incorporated in Delaware. We've got nothing in...
Have a good night, Sonic channel. Yeah, so the legal issue becomes that Europe cannot dictate U.S. laws. They cannot push U.S. to do certain things just because Europe is their own country and is another. Their laws are different. Okay? And there's nothing that 4chan necessarily has to do, and they don't even have to legally pay the fine for that because they're US based. And in reality, they could just not be in Europe. It would be damaging to a lot of websites, but in reality, if a lot of the websites don't want to apply to certain codes and statutes from different states, that's up to them. And yeah. Looks just on it if Fox works. 4chan is not a safe website, but again, that's an individual right if they choose to look at their website or not. That is not 4chan's, 4chan is not making you choose to look at that website or you go to a website. That's up to you. So it's not their responsibilities either.
The UK. But this is how crazy it is. We have laws from other parts of the world where they can impose fines and sanctions on people on the other side of the world. It's crazy shit. This is why I say, look, I'm not from the United Kingdom. Why do I care about this law? Because ultimately, in the end, all these laws, when they're passed, just start attacking each other. It's crazy stuff. Now, I was kind of thinking to myself, I'm like, why 4chan of all sites? 4chan isn't even as crazy popular as, as it used to be, right? Obviously, if you're somebody my age, if you're somebody who's watched this channel, I'm sure you guys have definitely browsed some of the craziest stuff on 4chan. For me, I love stuff like, X. I love
all this stuff that I say I'm going to edit out anyway, so it's all good.
Paranormal. I go on this probably every other night. And the thing about it is that even if you look at things like the reply counts, for instance, I have it set from highest to lowest, but some of these things really have just replies on threads of 70 people, right? Maximum. There's not many people lurking here. Why is it that, again, one of the biggest governments in the world specifically wants to target things like 4chan? Is it because sites like 4chan possess memes or possess, information or discussions that the government doesn't necessarily find all that interesting? Maybe that's the goddamn case. But a lot of it has to do with, again, the fact that these are places where anybody can post. It's basically a social media. And now, to get access to most social media, honestly, to get access to most internet sites, you're going to have to give people your fucking driver's license, all right? I really feel like these laws, they kind of pushed them in as like, hey, there's a lot of kids, they might come across adult content on the internet. Let's ask for driver's licenses. I have seen more regular websites asking for my ID than I have actually seen
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Lion.
the adult websites asking for ID. That's crazy to think about. Now, of course, the only way to fight back, and I don't want to make these videos because, I don't want to be like doom and gloom. Okay, I'm not here to like doom scroll for you. I am here to tell you that there are ways that you can fight back. Government wants to take away your, internet privacy through like taking away things like encryption. Go back to PGP. Send messages in a way where the government isn't going to be decrypting these things or will not spend the resources to decrypt every single message you have.
That's a fair point. If you go back to the old internet days, the government is going to spend time looking up those, archive ways to decrypt old texts and stuff like that. They just aren't going to use our resources like that. They bear time and, better things to do with their money and life than to decrypt some old messages that realistically no one cares about.
Do you want to share files?
Oh, thank you so much for the hip Allergy of the Fogs. Bites me. Why are you biting me? Don't bite me.
You might have to start looking at things like VPNs or things like torrent software. And you might be like, whoa, are you teaching people how to pirate? No. Piracy is totally haram. But of course, I use torrent software and would download things like Arch.
So, my opinion on piracy. I think, personally, there is a right way to do piracy. I support piracy to an extent. Primarily when it comes to like companies that are being super greedy. We're talking about like companies like Netflix and Disney and Amazon Prime. All these movie companies are starting to add extra fees to this stuff and take away certain features that you used to have. Watch movies online illegally. I could give a rat's ass. Like, I support that. When big corporations start to increase their payment systems just so they can make more money and screw over the consumer, I gave up on Netflix like 2 years ago. Ever since the whole password, like you can't share accounts bullshit, I was like, day one of that being enabled, I just gave up on it. My sister called me like that day when I was like canceled Netflix. She's like, hey, why is Netflix not working? I was like, I canceled that piece of shit. If you would like to pay for yourself, go for it. But I am not supporting a egregious company that is going to upcharge and has increased in like the pricing by 3x since 2012. 2011, sorry. By 3x. That is just like outlandish. And a way to get around that, pirate. Go to illegal websites. I have some of my own that I'm not going to share. Hi, Fire Racer. Welcome to the stream. And I watch the movies that I want to watch without any lashback. The thing with piracy that I do not support is if you're pirating a movie and making money off of it yourself. That's a very, very, very different thing. When you're doing piracy and you're selling that to someone else to make money off of it, that's where it becomes very, very much illegal and unethical because you did not create it, you did not make the content, you do not own the content. Yes, I 100% agree. Piracy is for the people, not profit. Um, I think if you're gonna pirate, I think you should do it not to make money off of yourself. That's where I find the boundary between piracy legal and not legal, and ethical and not ethical. So that's it in my nutshell when it comes to my view on piracy. I think if you're going to make money, um, just don't. That's where you can get in little big trouble. Yeah, if you, I don't even like download stuff. I don't even do it that far. I watch it online. I don't save any information. I don't save the metadata. I don't save anything. I have my browser automatically delete the stuff. I do it the safest possible way, so I don't get sued by the government or the movie company or the entity. The rule of thumb, and this is always held true, whatever is online is for public domain to see. And that includes these websites that are for public views. Am I technically pirating? No, but yes, because I'm not giving the company the money. Pirate's nuts. Oh, nice, Trust, nice. But pirate characters are cool in my opinion. Hey, Lane Ryan, welcome to the stream. Also, guys, thank you for the likes. I always appreciate that. So let's get back to the content and what we're watching here.
Linux or any project where, it's a hobby project, it's a project made by a small group of people, not big tech. Therefore, they use things like BitTorrent so they can save as much money as they can on server costs and still share files between people.
Hi, Robert.
People, in a way where, again, governments, they have to work a little bit to try and stop this kind of stuff. Not to say that governments can't stop torrent software, they absolutely can, but you have to find ways to make things substantially more difficult for them, or at least annoying. Now, it's crazy to go back to 4chan as a website, right? The United Kingdom is trying to...
The goal with this channel and these once a week videos, Landrider, is actually to do 2 news topics, at minimum of 2 news topics that I find within the 48-hour mark of content creators uploading these and sharing these with you and my own personal opinions on them. I will most likely not have watched these beforehand, so this will be a brand new video that I've never seen before. So this will be as honest opinion, raw opinion as I can possibly give without me knowing anything about it. Unless I already know a bunch about it, like tech. Then I can dive deeper into it. Just a new live stream idea that I do weekly, just to see how it does.
To enforce their laws on a company that is owned by a Japanese man at this point, a website service that has its business incorporated in the state of Delaware, and from my understanding has its servers hosted probably around the world, but I believe mostly in the state of California. And yet, they want to enforce their laws on the fucking Americans, even though it just makes no fucking sense. Now, obviously, when it comes to organizations like Collective Shout, for instance, we're looking at these guys that, initially were bringing the pain to the average gamer, and now they're talking about how, we're at a rise of Gamergate 2.0. They've pulled all...
What is this? Sonnet says, like it. By the way, my yearly celebrated womb Vixen Day is... Are we talking about your birthday? Is that what we're... Just say your birthday, bro. Is that your birthday tomorrow? Is that what we're talking about, Sonnet?
All these online games from the platforms, like Steam, for instance, or at least had them de-indexed. Like, all of a sudden, games that were mature, not even pornographic in nature, immediately started getting removed because of viral calls or just, again, annoying campaigns to, again, all these payment processor teams. And of course, the payment processors decide to shut this stuff down.
Oh, that's cute, Robert. Adorable. Nice to know that your kittens gave birth.
So to go forward into this too, right? Like obviously when you look at again sites like Collective Shout, the kind of stuff they say makes me almost laugh a little bit. Obviously, they expected some level of backlash given the fact that they were trying to police the entire internet, police mature content for mature individuals. So of course they said they're small team, small but I guess incredibly powerful in terms of convincing.
I think getting on to this point regarding to Collective Shout and these game content on Steam's. Happy birthday, Sonnet. Happy birthday. I think we need to have a way to like have certain content be okay and certain content not be okay, but to enforce every single XX content deemed not okay to the public to see, it's still an individual right to see whatever you want, whether it's right or wrong. That is not for me to judge you and what you do on your off time, legal or not legal. That is not my job to do that. If you enjoy certain content, that is up to you. I'm not there to judge you. I'm not there to question what you do, nor do I give a rat's ass about what you do on your computer. It is up, if you're doing stuff illegal, that's the cop's job. That's the FBI's job. And whoever posted that content for you to watch that stuff, whether it's a Steam game or online activity, that's on them and on you. But for me to come down and as a credit card company, if I were a credit card company and start judging every single little thing that you did, well, credit cards would not exist. Pure and simple. Credit cards don't have the legal right to just like dictate what you can and can't purchase because it's a consumer good. That is a messed up thing that we're starting to see with credit card companies, and it's at least we're seeing a massive backlash. PayPal has been removed from Steam, which I didn't realize you could actually use PayPal on Steam, but apparently you can. I also don't support PayPal because of the massive scandal that they've been caught up with regarding to a web browser thing that a lot of YouTubers have been scammed out from and lied about. So that's a whole different topic. But yeah, I don't believe that credit card companies can tell you what you can and can't buy, whether it's right or wrong. If you go on a website and you get flagged for something by a credit card company, then again, that's on you. But it's not on them. So, back to the content.
Payment processors what to do, abuse, harassment, threats of violence by gamers who are angry about losing their rape games. Even
That's extreme, but okay. Sure. Is that really what they said? Posted by Collective Shout. Okay. Wow. Holy shit, bro. What a interesting way of putting that in language. I'm not giving birth. I'm not. I'm a man. How would I give birth? Through my butt? God, that would be extremely painful. Also, physically impossible. Alright. Wait, I did not give birth to the Leggy Baby Army. I did not. No, 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 no.
though a lot of games that actually ended up getting removed from this were video games like Vile, where they were actually touching upon serious topics. They weren't just all goofy, haha, visual novel like rape games that they were talking about. So again, they keep bringing up the fact that there's a misogynistic vitriol against them, and honestly,
actually, watermelon probably would be doable, but be extremely, excruciatingly painful, and like it would never be the same. 3 kittens, nice, nice. Congratulations to those 3 kittens.
I'm not going to sit here and pretend that there isn't a level of misogynistic vitriol against them too, but they obviously also know that they're on the internet trying to destroy freedoms and take away video games and take away, a paying customer's product. Of course, they're going to get some level of online backlash. That is very much to be expected. But obviously, with organizations like this, they always kind of like try turning that around and making themselves the victims, even though they themselves stepped foot into a fucking bear trap. And
Yeah, so Collective Shout is getting decimated right now. I'm pretty sure about this. And I don't think it's going to go their way with certain content that, especially Steam, who has such reputable content on there and gained the reputation starting in early 2001 that the Collective Shout really, nor are a lot of the other organizations are going to start bowing down. Because it would just destroy one of the biggest companies that does gaming, selling gaming ever. And don't think that would ever happen. Basically, okay.
started the wave of internet censorship. Internet censorship really is out of control. But it's not just the censorship that gets me. It's the fact that when it comes to the internet, we now literally rely on some level of surveillance. At least that's where we're headed to in such a short amount of time. It's actually insane. You know, a few days ago, when it came to YouTube, right? YouTube just recently launched AI age verification on its platform. And I believe mostly for Americans, this is a thing, but it probably will come all the way out to other countries. Now, the thing about YouTube is,
Yeah, so the AI verification thing, it's starting to have impact on my channel. It's not massive. It's not big enough for me to like be like concerning, but it's still impactful nonetheless. Like today, I was like trended down a bit. I usually gain average between 8 to 10 views every like non-stop hourly, but I had my first like sad spike right here, and I was like, oh, this is bad. And I was like starting to worry about it. It picked up a little bit, but what I also could be thinking that could be contributing is due to people going back to school and summer is over, and so this could be the spike that we're seeing. At least a lot of other channels that are going down and coming back up. So at least it's going up a little bit, but some of my content is not doing as much as I was hoping to do. I also found out that Electro the Fox got hit with this, and they shared me their concern, and I don't have an answer for you. To anyone out there that has been hit with this, I don't have a one solution for you, because it's like, you know, YouTube, I can't do anything about it. Neither can big YouTubers do anything about it. So I'm sorry for those who've been hit by it, but I am also interested in how you're on my live stream, Electro the Fox, especially when you've been hit by HID verification, because I didn't think you were able to watch my lives, because like all my lives are technically supposed to be like hidden from everyone if you have the HID verification. And so this brings up the question to me personally, like what content is YouTube not allowing you to see? Because it is not what I nor any other content creator thought it would be. It is not where I showed you guys, and this is what I said in the one of my live streams with one of the content creators. It was like, if you do this restriction mode, it is not that. It's a brand new, and I mentioned this. I mentioned it multiple times, that it's a brand new system that is not probably going to be enacted like the restriction mode is. The restriction mode is like, essentially, if you're a kid and it's controlled by your parents. Actually, it's like something like that. But it's not necessarily how that works. So I don't know how what content YouTube allows and what content YouTube does not allow, because it's not restricted mode. It's different, which is weird.
Let's say that you're doing YouTube like as your main money making opportunity. What has happened right now with age verification should slightly worry you. Now, years ago on YouTube, for anybody that doesn't know, there was things like the apocalypse. So if you were 100% on YouTube, this was your income stream, immediately you went from making a good chunk of money and you just lost a lot of it overnight. So depending on how you structured your YouTube channel, let's say that you had employees, well, you had to start letting people go. Let's assume that, you were living paycheck to paycheck. You probably also had to get something else on the side in order to make this dream of yours actually work.
It only shows you when you try to comment on your own personal videos. Well, whether it shows you for your own personal videos, you're still getting struck by it, because that would apply to your entire channel and everything else that you do, whether you watch content or whether you make your own channel, whatever. It's a one-stop street for basically you not being able to do what you want on your own channel that you made or YouTube. That's how it works. So again, I don't know exactly what YouTube is allowing and not allowing for this new age verification process. And if that's the case, then apparently my live stream probably won't affect any of you guys if you guys get hit by this, which is good news for me because I need to get my live stream to a certain watch time, which I'm getting there.
Now, YouTube, it seems, is starting to implement.
That's not how it works, Robert. I wish it was as easy as that, but I am starting to see a small impact. I said it before and I'll say it again. I hope this issue gets fixed in the future. Yeah, we all do. We really, all content creators do. And one of the things that, and I'll probably edit all this out to be honest anyway. One of the things that, the reasons that I'm starting to see why Mr. Beast and all these other big content creators didn't say shit about it was because they realized that this impact would not be damaging to their YouTube channel, nor would be impactful enough for them to care about. So this is why they didn't speak up about it. And it's like, because YouTube either favors their content or the content falls within the community guidelines of what YouTube is rolling out. So that's my theory. It does, but like I said, it's not a one-stop and all, give up on your YouTube dream. Because if that was the case, well, I'm sure this would be hitting me harder than what I'm seeing right now. That's not to say that I'm not being hit by this. I'm not saying that. But, it may not be as damaging as what a lot of content creators initially thought. And I also gave you guys, just the raw percentage. How many people in the world are 18? You got under 18. You got more people that are over 18 in the world than under 18. Just sheer numbers. Let's just think about it here for a second. You got 18 all the way through age 99, 100, okay? Okay, you got 72 years, 72 years older, 72 years of people that are older than 18. So that's why I'm saying that while this is a big issue, it's not that damaging for a lot of content creators. What happens if it affects you and it doesn't let you see certain things and then you turn 18? I don't know. It may end up being removed based off what it's calculating, and then it may just go away automatically. I don't know how that works, but again, I'm still looking into this stuff, and so yeah.
Just a little bit more of that. So a few people had
Vine Boom, hi, welcome to the stream. Why did YouTube recommend me this? Because of the way I do tags. I have my secrets. Hi, Vine Boom.
Started getting these messages. We changed some of your settings. We've updated some settings, including turning off ad personalization, because we're not sure you're over 18. So you could have an over 18 account, and YouTube's AI has now deemed you unfit to be an adult. Maybe you watched too much child-friendly stuff. Maybe you've tripped something on YouTube's AI. AI is not perfect. The fact that we as a society are using AI to basically monitor every single thing that we do on the internet is just bad. Dude, it was literally this year that over 51% of all web traffic just became complete bots. So when we talk about shit like the dead internet theory, there are more synths on this platform or the internet
We're letting streaming setups in the special ed classes now? What? What, excuse me? I'm confused.
as a whole than actual fucking human beings. It's crazy. And there's a good percentage of that that's just bad bot traffic that's taking advantage of the internet in completely negative ways. So to go back to YouTube, this person gets their, the YouTube considers them to be under 18. So according to this user, now all of a sudden on the shorts, they start getting, shorts where people have like shit stuck into their hands, like, almost like, I would say like body, very light body gore. You've got, just tits in your face. It's crazy stuff to see. So even the AI and the recommendations engine isn't truly protecting you from that adult content. Here's another user. This guy's just watching a video, yada, 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 having a good
And my arms out. No, I can fix that. I can fix that, actually. I just have to go to my settings and, like, fix it. I'm trying to, like, figure out, like, which character I want to use for my, like... we... Okay. Could go down. I'm trying to figure out which character... I want to focus on more on a serious... version of me than my childish version of Likey, because all of these videos will be edited within 24 hours and released in short format for you guys to enjoy the full context of what we're watching. So
time. They
also, thank you for 7 likes, appreciate it.
got some Warhammer ads. Now I imagine Warhammer is usually for adults, or at least
Hey, cosplay. No, I have like 2 models. I have this model and then I have this model. This is my more of a friendly version of Likey, so I figured this. If I want to get down to a serious topic, this is not the model I'll be using. So I prefer to use my normal version. So. But yeah, for these type contents, I probably will end up using more my normal natural Likey.
like, teens or something. We couldn't verify that you're an adult. We've changed some of your settings. Okay, so YouTube's AI seems to be flagging people. And the thing about it is, obviously, let's just be honest here. So a lot of this is really also bad for YouTube. YouTube has something known as personalized ads, which is where, I guess, a big chunk of the money comes out from. If YouTube can accurately deliver a personalized ad to somebody, they make a magnitude more money per ad than if they just randomly threw ads out of nowhere, right? You ever wonder, like, damn, I Googled, like, butt plugs the other day.
See, I know how to, like... I am a dog. I am a werewolf, technically. Pokemon Lycanroc. So, yeah. In a nutshell, I am a dog. Bark.
All of a sudden, I'm getting fucking butt plug ads.
Yeah, so, here's the thing. If you're... You all need to realize... I can't, like... Tell if, like... How am I trying... I want to word this so I don't offend anyone. There's this thing, okay? There's this thing called in private browser. And like, hi Anti-Fairy, welcome to the stream. You all need to learn how to use this. Okay, when you're like trying to avoid garbage on your main browser, the not in private browser like this, just use in private browser. Because what that helps is not the companies will obviously source track you, but what that helps is with an ad garbage. It works. If you're gonna be looking at weird stuff, just use in private browser and you won't get any messed up ads. Problem solved. Do that and you'll never see bad ads. Um, I didn't say that. That was him. It was him. I didn't say it. I'm trying to be serious about this news, anti-furry. Think before you speak, but they have taught you it in speech therapy class. Sure. Wait, what's your username? What's up? How you doing? Yeah, or use Brave. Brave has its own VPN actually. Several browsers have their own VPN nowadays.
It's because Google and YouTube have such a sophisticated ad engine that, yes, they do cross-site track you. And if you are looking for something here, they'll probably want to advertise it to you on YouTube. And you're probably more likely to click on.
And this is why I also like, on serious topic, I also support browser extensions to prevent certain ads from popping up. I have like 3 browser extensions. One is to prevent like ads popping up on a separate browser site. So if you open a website and that website somehow has a messed up link, one of the pop-up blockers actually auto closes that for me, so I don't have to deal with that. So that never is shown in existence. The other browser extension is actually to skip YouTube ads, and a way to bypass that for right now, because the other browser extensions don't work. And my third browser extension has security features, which helps me keep safe on certain ads never popping up. So, when you're a tech nerd like me, you think of multiple ways and get around these nasty ads that you'll never see in your life. There you go. Be a tech nerd like me. Yeah.
The ad and maybe purchase the product as it.
Oh my goodness. The kitties are calling me with a cute little meow. I have to go now. Have a good day, Robert. Thank you so much. Like E's and keys. Yes, Ledger the Fox. Yes, basically. Wake up, guys. This is what... what? Why you look like a like beta? What? I'm so confused. Am I good? Okay, we're back.
If they were just to randomly throw you an ad that you really didn't have interest in. So yes, the AI age verification is actually as bad for the content creator if we're talking about the monetary angles of it, the lack of engagement that they can encounter from somebody whose account features have
Why do I look like beta at the Delta? How you pronounce the name?
been so heavily limited.
I don't. I don't. I'm cuter than him. Although he's a big smart floof brain. He does good content. I actually do love his channel. It's one of my favorites, actually.
But it's also bad for YouTube because, yeah, if you're not able to have every account gathering data for you because of laws and regulations, yeah, it's going to be bad for your site's bottom line. So I just want you to understand, I don't even think the guys over at YouTube are necessarily all that excited for it. There's been a lot of content creators that have been trying to do goofy things, like create like random videos where you can put on an autoplay so that they can just straight up basically make your account look as if it's over 18. And there's really no hard and fast rule to this. Nobody really knows how YouTube's AI works other than YouTube, Google, and the guys behind it. So realistically, we're just kind of like hoping that our accounts don't get hit. Now, of course, if your account does get hit, you can...
I'm just going to give them my ID. I'm just going to be like, here's my ID. Because I really want my channel to continue on what I'm doing. Because of how fast it's growing, and I pushed my channel into YouTube's algorithm like 3 months ago. Within the first month, I was the #1 search term on YouTube, which is pretty cool. I was really happy about that. Ew. I didn't really know that. Interesting. Okay, weird.
Just provide a driver's license to the fellows over at YouTube, and hopefully they will just overturn the situation. But from what I understand, YouTube can actually hold onto that ID for 2 years. So according to the guys over at Google, let's say that you give your ID, right? So to establish your YouTube channel's history, you can...
In short, YouTube is secretly ran by an AI clone of whatever that word is. Snickle rubber? Okay. And this is why we need to rebel against this fox lichen therapy. What? So it's bait. So we can save the chums from this furry chick's reaction. I'm so confused on that, but if that's what you think, cool. Moving on.
Complete ID and video verifications again. So to ensure individuals or groups don't evade our restrictions by creating new accounts, we assess whether you may have repeatedly violated policies or restrict repeal applications. So Google may save your ID or your video and facial recognition data for a period of time. So how long does that data get stored? It gets stored for a maximum of 3 years. Now, according to even Google, I believe they can delete this sooner than before, but the thing is, that's information stored. Now, thankfully, they say we never sell your personal information, and, you know, obviously...
Hey, Aola, welcome to the stream.
I'm gonna have to trust them on that. But, you know, I'm hoping that obviously for, you know, an organization like Google, being as big as they are, I'm hoping that this information can't be hacked by somebody.
I saw that. Beta 8 Delta. I tried.
Taken and then sold on the dark web or sold in any data breach out there. Now, obviously, I expect Google to have some good security practices, but no security practice is truly 100% perfect. So you have to be okay when you provide your information to these organizations.
This is supposed to be one of those Pokemon things, but like from Temu. No, this was custom made. I have a whole history behind why I made this persona. A whole art section on this. I have a whole actual head. All right, a furry head. Watch my other videos and you'll see my other content. If you don't like it, that's not my problem. I could care less whether you like my content or not. That's an individual choice and opinion. Thank you.
That they will delete your information, you know, down the road. So for instance, here they even say your ID.
Also, my boyfriend's Japanese, so I take that very offensive, Ashley.
Will be deleted from your Google account within 2 years. It's usually deleted in a few months after you've built sufficient channel history.
Vine Boom. We're talking about Vine Boom. Talking about weird random stuff. That's what we're talking about, anti-furry.
Or after 1 year if you haven't used advanced features. So no matter what, your information's gonna at least be here for over a month or two, okay? So you have to be comfortable giving your ID to somebody and they basically hold on to a record of that for a little bit. Now, obviously, I can imagine some of you guys are probably gonna go and say, I don't feel comfortable with that, Muda, but what other options are there? Look, a few days ago, I made a video talking about the internet as a whole. And
so, I also wanted to mention out... no, not right now. I also wanted to mention out and point out that YouTube said that you can give your credit card, and they retracted that, and you can't give your credit card information because that's technically not a valid form of ID because there's no like face to it. And so YouTube kind of lied to us about it. But that's a whole different topic. And I made 2 videos about that and saying give your credit card because you can at least delete that data, but with this, you can't.
One of the things that I don't like about the internet right now is that it feels like there's 6 websites that basically people go to. It really feels like a cyberpunkish type of internet. You know, when you play a video game and there's like an internet feature in it and there's like maybe 7 websites you go to max. You know, like, ooh, there's like 7 or 8 different websites. It's like, is that all the people go to in this fictional universe? Is like 7 or 8 websites? How really different is that from the real world, right? Like, you go to YouTube for your videos. You probably go to like fucking, I don't know, Facebook, God forbid, to talk with like boomer parents. You probably go to like Twitter to like, shitpost or like doom scroll. You probably go to Reddit for everything that you could have done with a forum from like the early 2000s. So realistically, one of the things that I did was I also reached out to the fellas over at
Hello and welcome to the stream. Again, if you don't like my content, that's fine.
Odyssey. Now, Odyssey, for anybody that doesn't know what it is, this is an alternative tech platform. And I actually used to have a channel on here. And, my channel is gone. My channel, I talked to them, I had my discussions. They had worked with me very quickly, within a span of 24 hours, to bring my channel not just back, to talk to my 28,000 subscribers on this platform, and also quickly synchronize a good chunk of my content. Now, obviously, I am not going to be using, Odyssey as a primary platform, but I want to use it as a mirrored platform for my content.
Odyssey.
So I actually asked the company for this, and I got in touch with the CEO and COO really quickly. And they told me that they are basically owned by a company. I believe it's like Forward Distribution or something, or whatever. And they have apparently 20 years worth of funding to keep this site operating, which is kind of.
I actually have a job, by the way. But thanks for the, random help. I think, even though I have a job.
Crazy to think about. Now, obviously, after that, they'll probably need more cash infusions. Running a video website like this is definitely expensive, and that's why there's just not many other people on the platform. But the thing is, a site like this is important because I even asked them about age verification. They said, look, we'll hold out as long as we can, but if laws pass and we're an American company, we have to abide by those laws. But for now, they're not going out of their way to invoke an attack on privacy like other websites are doing preemptively. They're just waiting for all the laws to pass, and they're holding out as much as they can. Now, ultimately, it's not just about supporting the alternative tech platform, it's about fighting back against these crazy, vicious anti-privacy laws. So if you're not able to win that, well, the internet dramatically changes in the future. But I do want to hype a site like Odyssey up a little bit because it's the only other platform that I'm on other than YouTube when it comes to my content that I upload. But, I'm not on Rumble or any of these other platforms because it's just way too much to keep track of.
Yeah, ideally, if you're gonna be a content creator on YouTube and you want to focus on YouTube as your main platform, I have TikTok, I have Reddit, and I have YouTube. And it's just like, it's easier to keep track of those three instead of starting me going on Rumble and all these other kicks and all these other websites. Because it's like, eventually gets too much and you lose track and you just don't do as much as one is, focus on one as the other. Like on TikTok, I used to post daily. Now I just post like maybe every 2 or 3 days. But hey, I have endless content that I can do on TikTok from my YouTube channel. So it works, I guess.
I'm not really in here for the money, obviously, either. I'm in here mostly for the love of the game, okay? People can watch my videos, enjoy content over here, and if, God forbid, YouTube considers you to be a child and you have to provide an identification, it's not as if there isn't another repo of content that you can access on my channel. That's kind of the thing that I have over here. Now, even when it came to Odyssey, they said that, just at the end of last year, even YouTube was giving them a lot of
and it's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, at least right now. You're fine, AOL.
grief over synchronizing content, because I really do think, obviously for YouTube, when they start to see all these other platforms pop up that may be providing in some ways a better experience, it might be better to hamper it as much as you can so people stick to YouTube. And I don't think sites like Odyssey, I don't think sites like Rumble are going to destroy YouTube. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think YouTube will always be a dominant, number one. But I also want to, bring up the fact that there is alternative platforms. We don't all have to use the same website. And when it comes to things like forced identification, right, you've got situations where obviously if you look closely into even Roblox. Like, we just talked about Roblox like a few days.
Roblox is probably another big issue I'll talk about next week, if it's still a big topic. But we're going to move on to this last one regarding to this one I have not seen. I don't know what this is about. I wonder, is this about like Roblox or
They're
what?
trying to arrest them.
But part two of this, all right, part two of the news. This was multiple news segments in one. I wasn't expecting that, but I'll keep that in my next time. Yeah, give me a minute. Let me check real quick. All right. Cool. Back to the content. Um, yeah. Let's continue with the content here.
Anybody who says negative shit about they trying to arrest anybody who says negative shit about them. Remember that group of annoying ass bitches in Australia that tried to get video games, like Steam, to get rid of video games because they were fucking bored? Well, they've been getting a little bit of pushback, and now they want gamers arrested. Big surprise, huh? Collective shout? Yes. Collective Karens.
You're a gamer. You play games.
Yep.
But what if a group of people decided that your hobby was a crime? What if they wanted to use police, even international police, to come after you just for disagreeing with them?
That would never happen. International laws are different from like laws that we live in each other, like our own country, so they're totally different.
That's not a joke. It's happening right now, and it's all thanks to a group called Collective Shout, who are trying to get anyone who stands against them arrested.
That's
Meet
right.
Collective Shout, an Australian group that
By the way, this won't work. The more that you get upset, the more that people will want to bully and attack you. This is something like I think that a lot of these people, like generally, I think that especially certain types of women on the internet assume that playing the victim will just get people to like defend them. And to a certain extent it will. But what I don't think that they understand is that it also means that you're bleeding. And if you can bleed, if it bleeds, we can kill it. As soon as people realize that they can get to you and you show that it gets to you, you're done.
Hi, John.
You're cooked. Yep. Bully logic? Yep, exactly. It's afraid? Yes.
they didn't like some of the games on platforms like Steam and itch.io.
Exactly.
So what did they do after Gaben wouldn't listen to their complaints? They went after the money. They sent a letter to major payment companies like PayPal and MasterCard demanding they stop working with these game stores. Their argument was that some of the games had extreme
Hey Shadow, welcome to the stream. You're good.
content, framing it as illegal and that it should be removed. The thing is, it worked. The payment companies gave in. They told the game
It's
stores
worked previously with other things too.
Okay, can I say this real quick? Regarding to this whole video, this was a massive clickbait title. Like, I thought gamers were actually getting arrested, like, quite literally, but, like, bull. John, what I'm doing today is covering 2 news topics, what's multiple segments of news topics, and once a week I'm going to be doing that just to see how well it goes, and I'm just going to be doing that weekly. I may move it up to Wednesdays from now on, just because it gives me more opportunities for you guys to stay on here longer. We'll see how it goes depending on, like, the schedule and all that stuff, but Wednesday would technically be easier for me.
Large groups of bored middle-aged women that have lingering resentment towards men because their husband doesn't like them anymore because they're fat.
Okay, I'm just gonna, like, end this. There we go. I fixed it. I'm done with that.
Are probably the greatest threat to Western society that we have right
I apologize about that, everyone. Let's get back to the content.
now. They're worse than Hamas. They're worse than Russia. They're worse than any like African warlord. They're worse than MS-13. They are the prime evil.
Clean up their act, or they would lose service. The game platforms removed thousands of titles to make sure that they fell in line.
So, like, him comparing what they're doing worse than like warlords or Russia what's doing to Ukraine, my hometown right now. I don't think that's a fair comparison. One is like ending people's lives, and one is just like hurting people's finances accounts, which isn't necessarily ending their lives. Like, people can bounce back, but like one can be like easier to deal with than the other. One is fixable, one is not. One is also an international crime, and this is not. So you can't compare an apple to like, a steak. They're two different things. That's not a fair comparison at all. Oh, nice, Sean.
With these financial
The enemies
companies' rules.
within.
This
Yes.
response not only hurt the players of these games, it also caused financial damage to real people, including the thousands of developers who spent countless hours on the art and game
Of
development.
course.
And again, none of them are dead. They can still move on, still continue with their lives. It may be interrupted. It's messed up. I would agree with that. It's very messed up, but it's not to the point where they're going to, end it all.
It wasn't only that though. One of PayPal's largest acquiring banks terminated its service with Steam in every currency
Oh.
other than 6. So now it's no longer just about adult games. Nearly every single person on the platform is now directly affected. Also, when a bank terminates its service with a merchant, they report it to the match list. We covered it in our previous video, but it's a secret confidential list that top banks and financial companies like MasterCard and Visa use to monitor risky merchants. Imagine it.
So why don't they just, can't you just use that as evidence for an antitrust lawsuit?
You probably could, actually. Nice, John, nice. What was I gonna say here? I'll move on from here.
And then just do this? Because in my opinion, like, the big problem that I think we have with a lot of these people doing stuff like this is that they get away with it. That's the big issue. It's that they get away with it, and not only do they get away with it, but in the limited times that they don't, all they get is a fine. That's the problem. Not framing the game as legal. The games are illegal in Australia. They wanted illegal games to not be sold in Australia. Well, that's up to Steam.
Yeah, that would be up to the individual, like, game entity itself. MasterCard, nor Visa, nor PayPal have the right to do that. Again, if it's a consumer commodity, whether it's legal or not, is not up to the credit card companies themselves. It is just not. And I mentioned this before early on in my video. Hi Green Bean, how you doing? I mentioned this very early on in my video because as soon as we start seeing credit card companies dictate what we can and can't use the credit cards for, there's no point in owning a credit card. They literally have devaluated the purposes of using credit cards because of this. And what's to say that they won't go further than this? Like, what's to say that they're gonna ban, like, us using it for, like, stuff that we enjoy ourselves? Nothing now. So,
It as a big red flag or a warning telling other banks not to work
That's
with
the
Valve.
government.
Although the match
Yeah,
list
that's the government's decision. It's not their decision.
database is kept extremely private, the fact a bank has terminated service with Valve means they are
Absolutely.
highly likely to be on this blacklist. After
Yeah,
their
they should make these blacklists illegal. It's obvious cartel behavior. Everybody knows it.
while I will say, I'm not a big fan of Asmongold. I'm not. But I think some of the content he says and how he says it is a little bit too, like, too much. The problems with YouTube stressing me out. Why? Why, Robert? I'm having a good, relaxing time sharing my news.
They'll regret using their real names too. I think that they already have.
And Collective Shout couldn't stop talking about the situation. You'd think a group that got what it wanted would move on to bigger things.
Yeah.
But of course, this group doesn't actually care about protecting anyone other than removing content they don't like. To defend their actions, Collective Shout has been trying to paint these games as highly illegal to larger organizations that have little understanding of gaming, like a United Nations Special Rapporteur. A UN rapporteur are independent human rights experts who simply investigate and advise on issues. The fact that Collective Shout is trying to get
another Karen apparatus, by the way. It's like a Russian nesting doll of groups of Karens trying to stop people from doing things that they disagree with. What a pathetic state of things to be in, huh? What the fuck is a human rights expert? It's called a Karen. That's it.
Just because it's a female. No, I think there's a need for human rights experts, but I think sometimes, just like us all, they either push it too far or they misrepresent the rights of humans. They think that they have the right to represent humans as a whole in terms of what rights we have and what we can't do. I don't think that's as simple as just how they portray it.
On their side shows they're actively working to legitimize their claims to a wider non-gaming audience. And now they found a partner
Hi, Mono. Welcome to the stream. How you doing?
in a report from a group called the Online Hate Prevention Institute.
Of course.
This report, which sides with Collective Shout, is just saying why they think this censorship is so good and framing the pushback from gamers as a hateful, misogynistic campaign. But
be careful what you wish for, because you might actually, in fact, be right.
the most interesting part is when you reach the bottom conclusion. The Online Hate Prevention Institute has been shocked by both the extreme nature and volume of the content we have seen attacking Collective Shout.
I think this is going to be the big difference between like what happened in 2014 and what happened now, what's happening now, is that I think that a lot of the emotional manipulation doesn't work anymore. And what happens now is that I think a lot of people are like, if you want to be the victim, good, I'm going to make you the victim.
Giggly, how you doing? Who are you? So random. Oh, are you the same person? Aww. You know, it's my channel, right? Moving on.
Like that's the way that I think a lot of people on the internet think now.
Yeah, Shadow the Femboy says, yes, they're basically controlling what we can. Not even choosing. It's not even the word. I'm not even gonna. Okay, sure, you can report. Go for it. Not sure what you're gonna report me for, but I've been reported before. Hide. There you go. Fix that. And it's like, I'm like, it's not even. They're not even choosing. They're more like controlling what we can and can't buy at this point. Choosing is more like, I guess you could use choosing, but it's more of a control thing for consumers. And again, they should not have the right to do that. Like, that shouldn't be a thing. So yeah. I'm glad you're doing good, Mono. I'm super glad. You know, we're here to have a good time and enjoy each other and not start crazy stuff that Giggly, whoever this guy is, started with me. So, yeah. Oh, play.
Whereas back in the Gamergate days, it was much more about winning the argument, explaining to people why they're wrong. I think that's changed. I think people are tired of playing nice, and that's why these people are getting harassed. People are fed up with giving into this bullshit. They are. Yeah, yeah, you want to be a victim? All right.
Who work there and those that serve on its board of directors.
Give them reason to cry wolf. Yep, definitely. No more talking, just action. Exactly. And I think also, like, there's no limiter for that either.
Did someone just say Zelensky is speaking? Are you shitting me right now? This is not how he would speak. I would know that because I've heard several of his speeches. All right.
Like, once guys on the internet.
Yeah, someone's like, see, Tony Poole says Zelensky is speaking. Bullshit.
There's no limiter for that either. Like, once guys on the internet realize that they can do this and it works, oh, bro, then like it's just they're gonna go crazy.
The connect comes from accounts across multiple platforms. In some cases, new throwaway accounts have been created in an effort to anonymously post threats while trying to avoid any consequences.
Open. Yeah.
These are serious cases of cyber harassment, and there needs to be government responses, including international cooperation between law.
People say, is Zelensky speaking? Is that true?
Oh, he's actually live. Oh, I thought they were referring to him as. I was like, excuse me, what?
Go back. I'm going to see if that's actually accurate. Because if it is, I will watch this.
What? No, don't just go to another content. Oh my god, you're talking about.
No, it looks like it's not true.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what we're.
He got so many tabs open. Who does this? Hold up. Wait. Who does it? Who just does this? Just like open. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, look, guys. Look how many tabs I can have open. And I'm able to do this because why? I have the RAM capacity. It's so cool. Hey, Henry, how you doing? Anyway, I'm gonna like go back to like close all these tabs. I'm just like, I don't need all these. I was just showing you guys how many tabs I can have open. I can have over 2,000 tabs open. I tested this and my computer does not slow down. But like I said, I have 128 gigabytes of RAM, so helps. So yeah. How you doing, Henry? How you doing?
Where that came from? Yeah, I got confused.
Law enforcement agencies. Threats of death and rape are not free speech, not even in the United States, where some of the
So why don't they just?
Oh wow!
I mean, like, can't
what did
you
I
just
do?
use that as evidence?
Extreme nature and volume of the content we have seen attacking Collective Shout.
If you're saying that, and what happens now is that I think a lot of people are like, if you want to be the victim, good. I'm gonna make you the victim.
Is
like
this
that's
where we're
the
at?
way that I think a lot of people on the internet think now. Whereas back in the Gamergate days, it was much more about accurate.
Okay, there we go. Found it.
Communicates between different countries' police. It would
Beautiful,
allow an
beautiful.
Australian police force, like the Australian Federal Police, to coordinate with agencies in other countries, like the FBI in the US, to track down and investigate people. So Collective Shout's allies want to use laws that were designed to fight cybercrime, like harassment, threats, and defamation, to go after gamers who simply just don't want their games.
What they want to do is that they want to be able to create a self-appointed government apparatus that they're in control of.
Am I a real dog? I consider myself a real dog, yes. Bark. Yes, I do. I consider myself a full-fledged dog because I'm a Therian. And a furry at the same time.
And they also don't want anybody to be able to push back against them. That's, I think, the big thing that's going on right now. Is that they want to be able to control and tell everybody else what to do, but they don't want anybody else to be able to say, shut up.
Censored and controlled by people who
Okay,
have
Australian
never played a
commies, yeah,
video
exactly.
game in their life.
That's what it
and
is.
while no one should accept threats of violence,
Well, even if they did play video games, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, playing video games is not a legal reason for police to come in bars and arrest you. Again, I see where he got the title from, but like slightly clickbait. Like if that were the case, man, I would have been arrested a long time ago. But you can't just arrest someone for playing video games or even going on certain websites. You've got to have more evidence than that. So, and realistically, they're not going to focus on gamers that play video games. They could care less.
People have found that Collective Shout has been faking threats against themselves to gain sympathy and get donations.
Are you serious? Faking emails and threats against themselves? Oh my god, that's lowballing. Man, Collective Shout is just like lowballing this bullshit at this point. They're not helping themselves. If people are finding this out that they're faking all this stuff, man, oh, that's fucked up.
They genuinely think that if they just say the games are illegal
Yeah.
and anyone who speaks up against them is misogynistic or a rapist, that it will just make everyone agree and listen to them. Remember, like Valve has said,
Yeah, this isn't 2014 with Gamergate.
Very much.
Gamers at this point, and I think people on the internet, especially young guys, have no problem being the villains. If you're saying that you're getting bullied and you're getting harassed and it's scaring you, they're gonna say good.
All right, Leto.
The age of, like, again, and the reason why that's happened is because you have made any degree of productive conversation and reasonable discourse impossible. That's it. Like, yeah, good, maybe cry louder. Yeah, exactly. Like, that's what's going to happen.
They were targeting were legal and fit inside
The
their
age of
original
capitulation is over.
policies.
It's
So it
totally
genuinely
over.
seems
Yeah, so Steam has never broken a single law regarding to releasing games and stuff. The creators that make Steam games have to follow strict guidelines based off Steam's upload and all that stuff and what they allow and don't allow. And keep in mind, while it's messed up, some content's on Steam. It's not illegal. The reality is, it's a game, not real life. And I wanted to point out this because I was watching a show on NYPD, whatever it was called, and they gave a very good representation of why it's not illegal to watch certain like content or think about certain content, because it's only illegal if you enact it or you are doing stuff that's just automatically messed up. So an example was given on this NYPD show was like, there's a person who has hate for humanity, right? I'm gonna use me as an example. I don't like humanity as a whole. But every single day, they think of messed up stuff they would do to people, right? Okay, just imagine me. And I do think this stuff. But the question becomes, if we start thinking about stuff, but we never enact on it, does that make us bad people? No. That does not. And that's how the law works. Because as long as you're not actually like enacting on the stuff that you're thinking, or you're not doing things illegal in the world's view, in the court's view, then it's fine. And the same thing goes with certain contents with games or animes. You guys may not like it, but it's not illegal to play them. Because they're games and they're not real life in the end. This is why a lot of content that was revolved around certain content, I won't say, with anime, while it's not illegal, has been taken down because it's just seemed like wrong. And I'm not going to say the content, but again, not illegal because it's not real life. So that's how the law works. And what Steam has done regarding to certain game content, where they published it, it's
they know they're not breaking laws. So when they said they're not doing anything wrong, they're not from a legal perspective. What do you think of your new profile picture? Nice.
Like Collective Show may actually start to work with police to pursue criminal charges
won't
against
matter.
gamers. Collective Show is straight
There's
up
people in Serbia that are doing this, people in China.
This is not gonna happen. Okay, now I see why he has this title. Yeah, this is not gonna end well. Collective Shout obviously is just more delusional than this, thinking that the police would go against, start enacting based on their authority when the police have. Police are jurisdictional force. The Collective Shout would have to contact the FBI, CIA, and higher ups for them to even have a remote chance for catching criminals and stuff. So, yeah, not the police. God's Minecraft server. Oh no. Oh no.
That are doing this in Russia that are doing this. Nobody's going to get arrested over this. Maybe one person's going to get arrested. Otherwise, nothing's going to happen. Like, you're not going to call the internet police and try to backtrace everybody on.
Which the internet police is an actual thing. But they're specifically for like certain things that no one does legally. So
4chan that's, harassing you on the internet. It's just not real.
coming into a space that's not theirs, trying to control it, and they don't want anyone to speak up against it. They got cooked so hard they had to private their X account, which is most likely why they had to start begging for donations, as they were starting to look bad for their supporters.
whoa, I did not realize this about them. So they're starting to back. My dad wants me to be nosy about what my sister called me for. My dad needs to give my privacy. Yeah. Privacy is a thing. It's important. Wow, I didn't realize they're starting to hide certain things interesting from a Collective Shout.
That's
let
right.
that all sink in. A group is trying to get international police involved. They want law enforcement to target people who oppose them. Although Collective Show tries to act like the victims, this
Yes, I did not know they're trying to get the international police law enforcement on this part, but wow, they're not winning this round, at least not in this sense. Collective Shout, where they're trying to get law enforcement involved, it's not ending well.
This campaign has already directly affected thousands of developers, many of them small, independent creators who lost their income overnight. Luckily, Valve is on their side, but that still doesn't change the fact that their previous work
Valve isn't on their side. Valve is just simply doing what they need to do in order to make their business viable. I don't think they're really on anybody's side.
removed. So Collective Show is directly responsible for inflicting financial damage on thousands of people. Because Collective Show is an Australian group, these developers could group together and file a class action lawsuit against them for economical damages.
Yeah, and they would win. Very much so.
Yeah,
Their
they should.
most
That
likely
would be
path
funny.
to a win would be in an Australian court, as US courts would have difficulty claiming jurisdiction over an Australian organizations for actions that launched overseas. This is just a thought for all the game developers who are affected, as these power-hungry people won't stop until they face consequences.
That's
And the reality is, these game developers, if there's thousands of them, they would have more money than the entire organization of Collective Shout combined. I guarantee you. Guarantee you.
right. That's true. Then they'll never stop. Because again, if they stop, then they lose their power. That's the reason why. So if they're never going to stop, they're never going to run out of things to complain about. There's always going to be something else that's worse. They will never stop because that's their entire life.
It also won't just stop here. According to MasterCard's rules, any game with non-consensual mutilation could be hit, and since Steam is now forced to follow their rules, this means nearly every top game could get removed. By not fighting back, we are allowing a small...
Yeah, that's, like you said, that's definitely not going to happen, because at that point, Steam would become an irrelevant platform. And even Steam would not allow that to happen.
one of their top games, which was it? Steam made it. God, not Garry's Mod. I'm trying to think. I'll figure it out later on. I'll tell you guys. Would be removed.
Group to dictate what is acceptable for an entire global community.
That's correct. It's completely correct. And I think everybody should push back about this as much as possible. I mean, I don't advocate for harassment. Like, this is my viewpoint is that, like, I don't feel bad whenever these people get harassed, even if it's something that's really bad, because you shouldn't have done it. You should not have inserted yourself into other people's lives and tried to push them around and bully them around and then make them do what you want them to do. You should have never done it. If you didn't want this to happen, you shouldn't have stepped into the arena. Get out of the arena. Stop pushing people in different directions. That's the real problem.
Has signed an executive order that is meant to stop banks from debanking or denying financial services for political or reputational risk reasons. So,
yeah, now this act, which is pretty much a saving grace for basically for these type of attacks now, cannot happen. So banks can't legally deny Steam now. Hi, Pearl. Welcome to the stream. How you doing, bud? Banks can't legally deny Steam, consumers' use of Steam for any content that consumers want to use it for, because of this new act. So yeah, which is great. It's a saving grace for the consumers, and it goes back to providing free use for what we want to use our credit cards for.
if it is a lawful activity, they can't deny it, which is what's happening exactly here. While this executive order is a big step, it's not a full law just yet, and won't help everyone around the world. Now, regardless of how long it takes, I wouldn't be surprised if Fellow comes out with a solution so they no longer have to be dependent on these large financial companies.
That's probably what they're going to do. I mean, like, they're not stupid. I mean, they can see that this is obviously a problem, and the real solution for it will be creating a separate payment system to...
They will... I mean, Valve is big enough they can do that, but I know for a fact Valve probably won't ever do these separate payment systems, or these other big companies won't, because it's a hassle in terms of rerouting and getting the information and a whole bunch of legal stuff. So they never will do that.
Completely subvert that. So they attack us gamers, calling us ists and phobes while celebrating ruining our hobby, and then they get upset, and then whenever we get upset and then claim harassment, odd how that works. Well, that's the problem. And I think, again, people's goodwill towards these people is gone. Like, there's no goodwill left. There are only, like, the low road has been chosen, and gamers will meet you there. And so will the collective greater population of the internet. That's what's happened.
You support the developers, speak out against this kind of censorship, and whatever you do, don't let them win.
No, I don't think that anybody will. And that definitely won't happen. Imagine Elon stepping in with X payments to restore gaming. I mean, I think it's a big problem for everybody. And we're speaking in Russian right now. I see. Yeah, I'll probably watch like maybe a translated version of that later on. Probably not right now. Exactly, perfectly said. Fuck them. Yeah, no, I think so. And this is just really what's been...
Well, that's it for the news. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and please hit the like, subscribe, hit the all bell notification. If you are in my Discord server, please go ahead and join it. Link in the description below, and I'll see you guys next time. And the next video will be a summarization of what I've been talking about for the past 1 hour and 27 minutes on this live, coming out tomorrow. Bye all. See you next week on the same topic. Well, new news topics, but you get it. Bye all.